നമസ്കാരം. 3 ദിവസം നീണ്ടു നിൽക്കുന്ന രംഗകലാ കോൺഫറൻസിന്റെ സംഭാഷണ പരമ്പരകൾ ഇവിടെ തുടങ്ങുകയാണ്. ഞാൻ ഏറ്റവും അധികം കാണാനായിട്ടും കേൾക്കാനായിട്ടും കാത്തിരിക്കുന്ന കുറേ വ്യക്തികളാണ് ഇനിയുള്ള ദിവസങ്ങളിൽ. നമ്മൾ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നത് പ്രൊഫസർ എസ് രഘുരാമൻ സാറിലാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ വിഷയം നാട്യശാസ്ത്ര കാലം മുതൽ സംഘകാല സാഹിത്യം വരെ ഉള്ള സൗന്ദര്യാവബോധത്തിന്റെ ദേശകാലാന്തരങ്ങളിലൂടെയുള്ള സഞ്ചലനം. ഈ ഒരു വിഷയം നമ്മൾ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നാട്യശാസ്ത്രം ഒരു ഫൗണ്ടേഷണൽ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ കാണുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ഓരോ സ്ഥലങ്ങളിലും അവരുടേതായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കലാപാരമ്പര്യം നിലനിന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എടുത്തു നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ എടുത്തു നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, തോൽക്കാപ്യം എടുത്തു നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, തോൽക്കാപ്യം ഒരു ഗ്രാമർ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നതെങ്കിലും അത് ഒരു തമിഴ് സൗന്ദര്യ ബോധത്തിന്റെ തന്നെ ഒരു ടെക്സ്റ്റാണ്. അവരുടെ ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ ലൈഫും എത്തിക്സും ശൃംഗാരവും എല്ലാം ഇടകലർന്ന് കിടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ടെക്സ്റ്റായിട്ടാണ് തോൽക്കാപ്യം പറയുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ പോലും നാട്യശാസ്ത്രം നിൽക്കുന്ന കാലഘട്ടം ഒരു 200 BCE 200 CE ടൈമിലും ഏകദേശം 300 BCE 300 CE ടൈമിൽ തന്നെയാണ് സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചറും ഫ്ലറിഷ് ചെയ്ത് നിൽക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഇതിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഉണ്ടായി വന്നിട്ടുള്ള വളർന്നിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ടെക്സ്ച്വൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു സൗന്ദര്യ ശാസ്ത്രമാണെന്ന് തന്നെ പറയാം. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ നാട്യശാസ്ത്രത്തിന് എടുത്ത് നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നാട്യശാസ്ത്രം ഒരു മാനുവൽ പോലെയാണ്. അപ്പൊ അതിൽ നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത് ഇമോഷൻസ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ഹസ്തങ്ങൾ, മൂവ്മെന്റുകൾ, മ്യൂസിക്, സ്പീച്ച്, സ്റ്റേജ് ക്രാഫ്റ്റ്, അങ്ങനെ പല കാര്യങ്ങളും, രസം എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്, ഇങ്ങനെ പല കാര്യങ്ങളുമാണ് നാട്യശാസ്ത്രത്തിൽ പറയുന്നത്. എന്നാൽ ഇതേ സമയം നമ്മൾ സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചറുകൾ എടുത്ത് നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിൽ പറയുന്നത് ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ലിവ്ഡ് എന്നാണ്. ഹ്യൂമൻ ഇമോഷൻസ് ആസ് ലിവ്ഡ് റിയാലിറ്റീസ്. അതിൽ ലാൻഡ്സ്കേപ്പുകളെ കുറിച്ച് വരുന്നുണ്ട്, അവരുടെ ഒരു എത്തിക്സിനെ കുറിച്ച് വരുന്നുണ്ട്, സോഷ്യൽ കോഡിനെ കുറിച്ച് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ ഇത് എങ്ങനെ ജീവിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിൽ പ്രതിപാദിച്ചു വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ടെക്സ്റ്റ് പെർഫോമൻസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുകയും, നാട്യശാസ്ത്രം പെർഫോമൻസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുകയും, മറ്റൊന്ന് പെർഫോമൻസ് എങ്ങനെ ജീവിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളതിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. സോ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു വിഷയമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ ക്യാമ്പിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോൺഫറൻസിൽ ഉടനീളം നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഒരു എങ്ങനെയാണ് കൊടുക്കൽ വാങ്ങലുകൾ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്, നാട്യശാസ്ത്രം എങ്ങനെയാണ് സ്റ്റാൻഡർഡൈസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്, അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ബാക്കിയുള്ള ടെക്സ്റ്റുകളെയും സൗന്ദര്യബോധത്തെയും നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ റെക്കഗ്നൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിക്കാൻ, സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിനെ കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിക്കാൻ ഇന്ന് വേറെ ഒരു വ്യക്തിയില്ല അത്ര ഭംഗിയായിട്ട് പറയാൻ. അത് ഡോക്ടർ എസ് രഘുരാമൻ സാറാണ്. ഏത് വിഷയത്തിന്, സംഘം ലിറ്ററേച്ചറായിട്ട് കണക്റ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് ഏത് വിഷയത്തിനെ കുറിച്ച് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും അദ്ദേഹം പേജ് നമ്പർ അടക്കം നമുക്ക് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു തരും. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരു വ്യക്തിയാണ് ശ്രീ ഡോക്ടർ എസ് രഘുരാമൻ. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിനായിട്ട് കേരളത്തിലെ വളരെ പ്രൊമിനന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മോഹിനിയാട്ടം ആർട്ടിസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള വിദ്യാമോളെ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഒന്ന് ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് വിളിക്കുകയാണ്. Thank you.
Dr. S. Raghuraman is a distinguished scholar and educator in Tamil language and literature and dance and culture studies. He served as an associate professor of Tamil language and literature at A.M. Jain College, Chennai, and was a visiting faculty at Kalakshetra, Chennai for more than 20 years. He has guided 22 PhD scholars at Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, and currently he serves as a visiting professor and academic council member at J. Jayalalitha Fine Arts University, Chennai. He is also a PhD guide at Vedic Wellness University, Florida. He is a most sought-after dance lyricist and resource person for many eminent dancers. Dr. Raghuraman sir has produced over 500 dramas, dance dramas, with more than 400 scripts and dance compositions authored by him, has won national and international recognitions. He has authored 2 books, Tamilar Nadana Varalaru and Nadana Kalaichol Kalanjiyam. He has given scholarly lectures and demonstrations on diverse aspects of Tamil literature at prestigious forums like Sangeet Natak Academy, Karthik Fine Arts, and so on. His contributions has been recognized with numerous honors, including Bhaskar Puraskar, Ilakkiya Bhaskara, Senthamil Chemmal, a national award for script writing, the Shaila Sudha Award, Dr. S. Ramanathan Memorial Award at Cleveland, and a lot more. With great reverence, we welcome Dr. S. Raghuraman sir to give his lecture.
First of all, my humble namaskarams to one and all, because already I crossed the time limit. Because I have to give my lecture by 9:40. Now, time is 10:20, right? So I want to minimize my salutation in the talk. Start with Sri Lakshmi mentioned that the Natyasastra is known as Panchama Veda. I am going to start from that point. According to Sanskrit, they may accept and agree that the Natyasastra is the Panchama Veda. But according to the Tamil tradition, it is known as Panchamar Veda. What are they? Panchamar means they, the people, are the fundamental workers of a society. Who are they? Carpenter, cobbler, potter, weaver, and the blacksmith. They, the people, used to do the normal domestic work for the people, those who are living in that village. Carpenter can take care of the house construction, carpentry work, furniture. Blacksmith will take care of iron process. And potter may make the vessels for cooking. And weaver, you know very well, he is the person who is weaving the textiles to the people, and so on. When the warfare started, all the 5 people will go to the war front. The carpenter will take care of the chariot. The blacksmith will take care of the weapons. He has to mend the weapon periodically. Because if he is not going to mend the weapon previous night, there won't be a weapon for the next day war. He has to. And the cobbler will take care of the leather details. And potter, he is the person who can identify the quality of the mud, and as well as he can use his knowledge for camouflaging. Then weaver, he used to take care of the cloth. In the night time, they used to come forward and entertain the soldiers. In the daytime, when the war is on, all the Panchamars will take care of the things to mend. But in the evening time, the wounded warriors are there in order to entertain them. In order to encourage them, they started to perform. Even today, go and see in Tamil villages, no other upper caste people are not taking part in any terukuttu. Only these 5 community people. Even today. Even today. So if you go to the village in Tamil Nadu, the potter will come and he will do the maker. He knows the quality of the mud. Some of the mud will cause you the allergy to the skin. So he knows very well. He can go and find the puttu mud. The termites, molehills are there, right? He will go and bring that puttu mud and mix with the vegetable colors and coat all your face. That is the maker. Even today. Then the carpenter will create the crown, sword, and so on. So these are all the details mentioned in Tamil literature. They are all known as Panchama. So their practice of dance or drama is known as Panchamar Veda. It is not Panchama Veda, no way associated with the prior Panchama Veda of Natyasastra, the Rikajur Sama Adharvana, right? This is called the Panchama Veda. In Tamil tradition, everybody is thinking Tolkapiyam is a grammar for Tamil language. No. It is not a grammar for Tamil language, it is a grammar for Tamil culture. You have to understand, most of the people totally misguided by the scholars. Tolkapiyam is an ancient Tamil grammar. It is not a grammar for language alone. It is a grammar for Tamil culture. That is the reason Tolkapiyam mentioned about dance and music and other details in his grammar. For example, Tolkapiyam mentioning only 2 words about dance. Only 2 words. One is Attam, another one is Kuthu. Other than these 2 words, you cannot find other words for Kuthu and Attam in Sangam literature. There is no Nirta, no Nirtya. These are all the words are totally not able to found in Sangam literature. Only the Attam and Kuthu. What is the difference between the 2? Attam means an individual person's performance is known as Attam. That too also, that person has to perform in the war field. After winning the enemy, an individual soldier tried to raise his sword and do the dance. That is called Volval Amalai. What we are doing in Kalaripait. That is called Volval Amalai. Amalai means person who is dancing with much of emotion. Volval means a brightful sword. By way of killing many enemies, he took his sword and started to move on ferociously all over the ground. That is his victorious performance. Another one is Nudil Attu. Nudil means spear. By way of killing an enemy and took his body with the help of his spear and start dancing. That is called Nudil Attu. And Pillai Attu. All these things taken from Tolkapiyam. First of all, listen that. All these details taken from Tolkapiyam, Purathinai, Vanjithinai formula. Then third one is called Pillayat, a soldier, how he can protect his fellow members and killing the others is called Pillayat. So all these Attam took place only in the war front. That is the reason later on Silappatikaram mentioning 11 type of dance done by the god and goddesses, all are mentioned as Attam. They are not dance, they are Attam. Kodugoti is an Attam. Pandarangam is an Attam. Ilangovadigal says it is known as Padinoru Adal. See the word Padinoru Adal. All the Adal taken place only in the war front. All the Attam done by the god and goddesses by way of killing their enemies. So Attam is nowhere related to the common performance. It is nowhere related. Whenever you are having the courage, whenever you are having the anger toward your enemies, in order to prove your valor and the strength, might, you have to dance. That is called Attam. Second one is Kuthu. Kuthu means it's a group dance. It is more or less domestic form of performance. Koravai Kuthu, Tonangai Kuthu, Velan Kuthu, all these things are done for the community development. See the beauty? It is not for entertainment. It is partly entertaining the audience, but also it communicates some ideas. Because in those days, people were having lot of ritual practices. By way of doing their ritual practices, for that they use the dance as a tool. That is known as Sadangiyal Charnda Nadanam. The word Sadangu. In olden days, it is known as Vari. Vari means the regional, personal, human emotion is called Vari. If that Vari based on their domestic life and as well as their ritual practices. If it is domestic life, it is Vari Adal. If it is in ritual practices, it is known as varichanti, in order to pacify their local god or goddesses. In Silapadigaram, Achiyar Koravai is a varichanti. Kundra Koravai is a varichanti. Vertivavari is a varichanti. What is the purpose of varichanti? In order to avoid the evil and expecting the good thing to the community. For that purpose, they used to perform. That is called varichanti. In Silapadigaram, there are 3 varichantis are there. One is for the Kotravai, that is known as Vertivavari. It will be taken place in the deserted area. And second one is called Achiyar Koravai. It is performed only in the Mullai Nilam, that's a pastoral people's area. And third one is known as Kundra Koravai. It is only in hill station. The god is Lord Muruga. All these things, people conducting their own rituals to pray the god, to avoid the evil and expecting the good from the god. So these are all the details in Sangam ages, and these are all the details nowhere related to Natyasastra. Natyasastra never ever mentioned these details in its work. Because Natyasastra concerned to me, I may be wrong in my perception, concerned to me, Natyasastra, everybody is saying it been between 200 BC to 200 AD. 27 years back in Krishnagana Sabha, in the Natyakala conference, I was speaking that Natyasastra is not one man's work. I was just starting my research in Natyasastra. I was telling to the audience, it is not one man work. Some of the great scholars agitated it. I do not want to mention the name. Some of the great scholars on the stage itself they agitated. Then I was telling to them, just go through the book. You can find lot of controversy. Self-contradictions are there in Natyasastra. Between the first chapter to 7th chapter, 7th chapter to 18th chapter, you can find the self-contradictions. How it is possible? A person is going to write the entire text of his own. How it is possible to form the self-contradiction? Periodically it is collected and Bharata may be compiled it. Bharata may be compiled it. Because I mentioned Natyasastra, Natya means drama. It is nowhere related to individual performance as dance, not nritya. According to Sanskrit, Natya means drama. So the drama concept created by many people, even before Bharata. Even before Bharata. Why I am saying this? Even in Tolkapiyam, he is talking about all the details of the society. In his own book, he appreciated more or less in 167 places about his predecessors. In his formula, he says, Yappana moliba yappari pulavar. Endrisinore, Arindisinore. These are all the words mentioned by Tolkapiyar. It means even before him, there were many scholars in the social, cultural, grammar and history. So according to their opinion, according to their knowledge, I am simply adopting their ideas and incorporating in my book, that's all. In 167 places, he is saluting his own predecessors. So likewise in Bharata's work, he also compiled the work concerned to me. I may be wrong, again I am saying, concerned to me. This compilation taken place only the Pallavas period. Between 6th century to 9th century. Because there are a lot of inputs are there. For example, in Tamil tradition, Silapadigaram is the first and the foremost literature which reveals the entire dance and music form of Sangam age. In Sangam literature, we can find now and then or one or two pieces in all over the entire work, but whereas Silapadigaram meant for that Sangam period poem and dance and music and dance. Right. In Silapadigaram, he talks about the single hand gestures are 28 and double hand gestures are 13. it is accepted by Natyasastra. This is commentary given by person by known as Arumbada Urayasariyar during the period of 10th century. But whereas 12th century, Adiyarkanalla totally changing the hand gesture numbers. Single hand gestures is 30 and 15 is 33 and double hand gesture is 15. Totally changed. Why? Because periodically hand gestures and its distributions are growing. It is growing because some of the ideas, some of the objects may not here at present. So for that we are going to do the distributional hand for that. What is the purpose? That's why Adiyarkanallar mentioned in his work, there are 3 types of hand gestures. They are not 2. Natyasastram says there are 2 types of hand gestures. One is Nirta Hasta, second one is Abhinaya Hasta. Nirta Hasta means gracefully you want to move your hand while you are dancing. But whereas Abhinaya Hasta, to communicate. Adiyarkanallar says the third hand gesture. Nirta Hasta known as Yajil Kai, Abhinaya Hasta is known as Tojil Kai, and third one is called Porul Kai. Go and see his commentary, Arangetru 3rd chapter, page number 89. He mentioned that word Porul Kai. What it means? Why he is introducing the third hand gesture? It is not rightly mentioned by Natyasastra anywhere else. What it means, Porul Kai means, you have to understand what the poet wants to communicate. That meaning has to be communicated. Right? That is called the Porul Kai. Because if you are not knowing the literature, if you are not able to understand the writer's idea, you cannot understand what is Porul Kai. For example, I am going to say, this is the world. If I am going to show my Patakam to show this is the world, am I going to mention world as an object or worldly people? Right? For example, the entire world is laughing at me. What it means? The world means it is not mentioning directly the object of the world. It is mentioning the persons, those who are living in the world. That is called Porul Kai. If you are going to show your hand to signify only the world, it is not the meaning. You are not communicating it. Then you have to communicate what the poet wants to say. Whether he is going to talk about only the world or the people in the world. So according to the poet's opinion, it is people in the world means you have to show the people, not the spherical form of the globe. No. So this is called the Porul Kai. So unless and otherwise, if you are not able to understand the poet's inner feeling, you cannot produce any hand gesture. This is the first and the foremost detail in Abhinaya. Because what the poet is saying, your duty is to communicate the poet's mind and you have to embellish or enhance his emotion. That is the performer's duty. Instead of doing the plain word and its meaning, what is the reason? A dictionary can give better meaning than you. Right? You have to embellish the meaning and give. That is the beauty of a dancer. Second, according to the concept of rasa, this is the biggest difference between the two. That's why I was telling to Sri Lakshmi, the topic itself, you have to put it in other way around. Percolation to or from Natyasastra to Sangam age, it is wrong. A percolation from Sangam age to Natyasastra. You have to put it in other way around. Then only you are identifying it properly. For example, concerned to Natyasastra, he knows only 2 dharmis. One is Lokadharmi, another one is Natya Dharmi. Right. But Tolgapiyam says there are 3 dharmis. It is a wonder to everyone. Natyasastra says Lokadharmi means what you have seen, according to that you are reacting, that is Lokadharmi. What is Natya Dharmi? What you have seen, if you are going to narrate it to others, that is called the Natya Dharmi. But third one is there, according to Tolgapiyam, it is Pulaneri Vadakku. Nadaga Vazhakkinum, Ulagiyal Vazhakkinum, Padal Sartha, Pulaneri Vazhakkinum. This is the formula in Agathanayiyal. The first chapter of Puruladigaram, Agathanayiyal, it is there. What is called the Pulaneri Vazhakku? Certain thing we can communicate as it is, with the help of our own experience. In Natya Dharmi, we wanted to dramatize certain rasas, then only it will get completed. If you want to show a Veera rasa on stage, we have to do the Natya Dharmi. If you are going to put it in Loka Dharmi, nobody will like it. Right? Because it needs that emotion. You need that. If you are going to show your aversion, you have to do it in a Natya Dharmi only. Apart from these two dharmis, he is talking about a third one. It is called Pulaneri Vazhakku. What is Pulaneri Vazhakku? Through your sensories, you are observing something. It happens only in Sringaram. It happens only in Sringaram. You cannot do the Sringaram in Loka Dharmi and as well as in Natya Dharmi. If you are going to do anything in Natya Dharmi for Sringaram, it is a vulgar. I can say it is a vulgar. Awfully it is right. If you are going to do it in Loka Dharmi, awfully accepted. But mostly you have to do it through your sensories. Then only it is effectively communicated. What is sensualities? The another question. Tolgapur gives the detail. For that sensualities, you have to communicate with the form of iraichi. What it means, iraichi? It is known as dhoni in Sanskrit. The concept of dhoni is not mentioned in Natyasastra. See the beauty. The concept of dhoni is not mentioned in Natyasastra. The dhoni concept mentioned only by Anandavardhana in Dhonyalokam during the period of 9th century. See, Natyasastram is not knowing what is dhoni. According to Natyasastram, it knows vastu, it knows alankara, it knows auchityam, and it knows riti, that's all. But dhoni is, because what is dhoni? If you are going to see an incident, according to that incident, it gives some impact on you. That impact will start to resonance in your mind. That is called dhoni. That has to resonance. You are going on thinking and enjoy what happened. I enjoy what is the details you accumulated in your mind. That is called dhoni. Natyasastra never ever mentioned dhoni, but Tolgapiyam says it is iraichi. If you want to do the Loka Dharmi, say with simile. If you want to do Nataka Dharmi, say with ullurai. If you want to do the Pulaneri Vazhakku, do with iraichi. How the iraichi forms? What Tolgapiyar says, iraichi karuporul purattaduve. That's a grammar. Karupurattaduve iraichi agum. What is karu? Tolgapiyar cleverly formed the landscape. In olden Tamil Sangam literature, we were having 5 landscapes. Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. Why I said and Palai? Palai was not the landscape of Tamil. We don't imagine the deserted area of Palai. That type of landscape not at all available in South India. Then what it is Palai? Silappadigaram gives the answer. Kurunjiyum Mullayum Muraimayil Tirindu Nal Iyalbu Urandu Nadungu Tuyar Yeidum Palai Enbador Padivam Kullu. What it means? Kurinji, the hill station, Mullai, the forest region, both the things, if they loses its fertility, if they become dry, that landscape is known as Palai. Right. In that area, the wild animals are there, the robbers are there. Right. In that 5 landscapes, every landscape is having a season. Every landscape is having a time zone. See the beauty. All these things put together, it is known as Vibhavam in Natyasastra. While you are start with some idea for Abhinaya, you are creating the Vibhava, the background. How you are going to do the background? With the help of the landscape and the season and the time zone. For example, even in today's cinema, a Petha song is on in the picture. What the director is doing, he is doing the deserted show area. The dried leaves, there is no water in the pond. He is just toiling in the hot sun. That's all. That is the pathos. Through that picturization, he is creating the background, that is Vibhava. So, Mudal Porul meant for Vibhava. Then what is Karuporul? Every land is having 14 elements. The land-based birds, animals, water resources, flower, tree, their occupation, food, their music, their musical drum and harp and so on. With the help of that, you are developing your Sanchari. In order to explain the innermost feeling of the performance, you are using that Karuporul for Sanchari. That is called the Sanchari Bhava in Natyasastra. You are explaining it. Why the Vibhava and Sanchari Bhava are utilized in the picture? Because you have to establish the proper Dhoni. That Dhoni means Sthayi Bhava. So in order to develop the Sthayi Bhava, you are utilizing the Sanchari Bhava and Vibhava. That's why Tolgapiyar says, Mudal Porul Allana Mayangavum Perume. These are all the methods you have to narrate. You are not supposed to change anything. If you are going to change, what will happen? Marabu nilai thiridal chayyutke illai. This is the way how we are producing. This is the way how we are communicating. This is our cultural practice. We have to tell the Mudal Porul first, then Karuporul, then it will take you to the Dhoni, take you to the Sthayi Bhava. You need not strain yourself to bring out the Sthayi Bhava. It will come automatically. It should evolve. If you are going to properly engaging the Mudal Porul and Karuporul, automatically the Sthayi Bhava evolve. It is both the things are catalyst to evolve the particular reaction. So that's why he says, don't forget this. If you are going to change these two, you will put the audience in confusion. That's why he says, Marabanilai thiridal chayyutke illai. Marabanilai thiriyin piridu piridu. You are not allowing the audience to know what you are doing on stage. You are confusing them. It is not your duty to confusing. Your duty is to communicate. Instead of communicating some subject matter to the audience, why you are confusing? Tolgapiyar firmly written it. Marabanilai thiridal chayyutke illai. You are not supposed to change any convention. It is not at all possible. Till date we are following. That is the beauty. In our Tamil culture, till date we are following. Another thing he says, if you are going to write something about romantic side, don't mention the hero and heroine's real name. That's a grammar in Tolgapiyar. If you are going to talk about the heroism of a person, tell the name. In Agaporul, it is called the romantic side of the grammar. In Agaporul, you are not supposed to tell the real name of the hero and heroine. Anbin Agan Aindenai Maringil, Oruvar Payar, Chutti Kolapera. He finalizes, Chollade, because, why? In romantic side, you cannot get any comparison. I want to love like him. You can't say like that. How he is loving his wife, how he is loving his lady love. Likewise, I want to love my lady love. It is vulgar. Sheer vulgar. But in the Puratina, in a warrior aspect, you can say, like him, I want to achieve. Like him, I want to study. Like him, I want to keep that position. That is possible. That's why he says, in Agapurul, you are not supposed to say the name of the person, but you can tell the name of the character. That's why he says, Talaivan, Talaivi, Kolunan, Kolundi, Verpan, Purati, all these land-based names. There won't be a chance of real name. Later on, even Kuravanji literature, they created only the false name, not the real name. All the Kuravanji heroines are false name, right? Chitrabadi, Mogini, all these names are created by the writer. They are not the real name. Especially, Kurati is not at all having any name. She is known as Kurati, that's all. That's why, once you are going to talk about the Sringaram, don't identify the name. Please identify the situation. That's why in Tolgapiyam, it talks about the Sringara-based details only on Kutru basis, not by character basis. The arch go and verify Sangam literature. Kutru, Kurtpur, Munnam. All the three are presented in romantic literature. In love literature, all these three are compulsorily mentioned by the poet. Kutru means who is the sayer. Kutru, who is telling this. Ketpur, to whom it is told. Munnam, on what background? Because according to the background, the kutru will change. According to the munnam, the kutru will change. Because if I am going to talk to my daughter, that style is totally different, say, if I am going to talk to my wife. Right? The same idea, if I am going to communicate to my students or some other general public, my style of communicating is totally different. That is called the kutru. Kutru will change according to the receiver. Very simple example. Someone lost some money, right? While you are going to the college or somewhere else, you lost some money. If you are going to communicate the same thing to your house members, how you are going to communicate? While you are communicating to your father, the style is different. While you are going to communicate to your mother, the style is totally different. To your friends or to your brother and sister in the home, there are new style you are adopting. Why? Because according to the receiver, you have to change your style. Tolgapir insisting that. This Kutru, Ketpur, Munnam, you have to specifically mention in Agam literature. In Sringara literature, you have to follow these three characters. If you are not going to follow these three, you are confusing again. So, any literature belonging to Sringaram category in Sangam age, you can find in the title of the song, Kutru. This is Tolji Kutru. Ketpur, Talaivi. Munnam, Talaivan, Porulvayin Pirindadharkaga, ஆற்றியிராத தலைவிக்கு ஆற்றுவிப்பான் வேண்டி தோழி கூறியது. The subject matter also revealed, the background also revealed. So, these are all the details you never ever found in Natyasastra. This is the beauty. Because how to dance is different than what to dance. How to dance is a grammar. What to dance, it is a culture. You have to stick on to the culture. If you are going to stick on to the culture, how to dance, it is not necessary. Your aim is to communicate. Because see, the learned scholars, one stage, they are losing their abhinayas. Only their facial expressions communicate a lot. For example, Briju Maharaj. In the last stages, he was not at all interested in hand gestures. Not at all using his hands. Everything through his face. That type of maturity gone. That is enough. So what to dance is more important. How to dance is a complementary. I want to communicate this emotion to the audience. That is enough. For that you are going to use your hand gesture or facial reactions, all of things. You have to decide. It is not specifically mentioned in a grammar. Even Tolgapir also says the same. That's why he never ever mentioned as rasa or suvai in Tamil. He mentioned as meipadu. If he is going to reveal the details of rasa concept in his work, he mentioned as meipadu. What it means? Mei means body. Padu means manifestation. How you are manifesting your body according to the emotion. He is not at all talking about the bhava on face, because in those days, first two rows of people may understand what the bhava is on face. See the last row? How they are able to understand. Now we are all having CCTV, TV and so on. In those days it was not there. So you have to show everything through your body. Hasta, the body. That's why he mentioned as meipadu. The body manifestation. It is not nowhere related face alone. It is entire body. You have to act totally by way of engaging your body. That is meipad. Then meipad, according to Natyasastra, it also accepts 8 rasas. Tolgapir also accepting 8 rasas. But some of the rasas are having little bit difference. Tolgapiyam says, Nagai Ajagai, Ilivaral Maritkai, Acham Pyramidam, Veguli Ovagai, Appal, Yette Meipad Yenda. The Yette, why he is giving the stress means, other than this, there is no Meipad. But what happened? Later on, in Bhakti movement, we introduced a lot of Meipad. Lot of rasas. Shringara Bhakti, Bhakti Shringaram, Vasalyam, Madhuryam, Dasyam, Sakiyam, all these Meipad never ever mentioned by Bharata also. Right? we started to introduce these type of subshades of Shingara. All these 6 are subshades of Shingara. They are not having any independent identity. Even especially Bhakti, it is never ever mentioned by Bharata and as well as Tolkapia. That is the beauty. In the complementary Meipadugal, there are 32 in Tolkapiyam. Even in the 32, he has not mentioned about Bhakti. That is the beauty. Because they were talking only about the human emotion. Humanly possible, they wanted to explore. That's all. So Tolkapiyar did a beautiful thing. If you are going to talk about Nagai means Hasyam. What is the reason for Hasyam? He never ever spoke. How you will get Hasyam, he classified it. That is the beauty. Why you are laughing, that is more important. How you are laughing becoming secondary. But Natyasastra says, how you are laughing, Hasidam, Visidam, Hasyam and Atagasam, so on. That is not necessary here. How you are laughing is different. Why you are laughing? What make you to laugh? Tolkapiyar gives the reason. That is the beauty. Every rasa he classified into 4 forms. Nagai, Yallal, Ilamai, Pedamai, Madan Yana, Ullapatta Nagai Nangi. See the reason he is mentioning. Yallal, by way of teasing others. Ilamai, by way of seeing the child's behavior. Pedamai, ignorance. Madan, foolishness. Because of these 4, you can get love. Other than these 4, identify any one of them. Other thing than this, no. Till date, no. That is the beauty. So Tolkapiyar, he is not allowing you to find out the way how you are laughing. He is telling why you are laughing. The reason he is mentioning. Every rasa he classifies us into 4 legs. Alugai means idive, ilave, asaive, varumai. Ena vilivil kolgai, alugai nangi. Every. That's why he never ever mentioned Shingaram as a separate rasa. He talks Shingaram in Uvagai, that's the last one. Uvagai he says, Selvam, Pulane, Punarve, Vilayate, Yena, Allal Nita Uvagai Nangi. Allal means that has to remove the pain in your mind. Allal na suffering. These 4 are removing your suffering from your mind. Then only it is known as Uvagai. Uvagai means internal pleasure. You are not supposed to express through your words. Because a child is going to touch you. That pleasure is a pleasure you can enjoy, but you can't express. If you are going to hear a beautiful music, Pulan, you can enjoy that, then you can't explain it. Then eating a very delicious sweet. You enjoy it, but how it is sweet. That's all. Come on, express it, not possible. That's why it is called Pulan. Likewise, Punarvu. Because union between the hero and heroine, that gives the pleasure to all your 5 sensories. That's why he put it in Uvagai. Uvagai, which causes the pleasure internally through your sensories. So that's why he never ever mentioned Sringaram or Pun. It is put it in Uvagai. Later on, this is the beauty. Natyasastra ends here. But later on, Tolkapiyar says, Sringaram is having a separate Meipadu. That is the next chapter. That is called union between the hero and heroine. Before union, what are the Meipadu will take place? There are 12 Meipadus. After the union, what are the Meipadus? They are also 12. He classified it. Then after having marriage, how they are leading the family life, according to their life, what are the Meipadus will take place. See the beauty. That's why I said Tolkapiyam is not a grammar for language. It is a grammar for Tamil culture. Because Natyasastram never ever worried about the person who got married and how he is going to lead his life. At the time, what are the rasas he is going to produce. All these things, obsolete for him. But Tolkapiyam says it is essential. Because what the love you are having before union, that may be not in the same amount after union. After having the life for 10 or 15 years, you cannot produce same time of that emotion with your wife after 20 years. Not possible. It is not possible because In the initial stage, it is based on physical urge. Later on, it will becoming a mental adjustment. So Tolgapir talks about it is a physical pleasure, this is mental adjustment. Both the things he mentioned very neatly. The second part, miserably not found in Natyasastra. That is most essential. Because all the dancers only doing the teenage characteristics on a stage. How long? How long? All the Nayika, everybody is doing Mugdha and Pragalbha. Why? Other people are not doing other characters. Why? Madhya, up to Madhya, everybody is comfortable. Mugdha and Madhya, teenage, comfortable. Pragalbha, the matured woman, they are not performing on stage. Why? Because it is difficult thing to produce on stage. Natyasastra never ever supported the details. But whereas Tolgapiyam is supporting. Go and see in Tolgapiyam Naipatiyam, last 3 formulas. After having the family life, what are the behavior of the hero and the heroine? It is rightly mentioned. First chapter 16, second chapter 24. So 24 plus 16, there are 30 way of doing, how to understand one's understanding. Later on, Kama Sutra mentioned this. See the beauty. How to understand your partner's signs. A separate topic in Kama Sutra. Vasayana attempted this. But Natyasastram never ever attempted this. So, if you want to know the performance arts history and culturally you want to identify, please go with the Tolgapiyam. I am not blaming, I am not degrading the Natyasastra. Sorry, that is not my duty. I am not for it. That too also a highly respectable book. But even before Natyasastra, we are having the treasure named as Tolgapiyam. Once you get into that Tolgapiyam and understand the traditional culture, not only the traditional culture, what he mentioned as culture, even today it is acceptable. Especially, Natyasastram finally says, these are all the things are rasabhasam. Right? One particular sloga there in Natyasastra, rasabhasam. What are they? What are the actions you are not supposed to do on stage? You are not supposed to show the dead body. Taking bath you are not supposed to show. Combing the hair not to show. If you are going to show, these are all the things are coming under rasa abhasam. But Tolgapiyam says no. I am not talking any actions on stage. I am talking, these are all the emotions you are not supposed to show on stage. Because your idea of doing dance is to promote the good thing to the society. See the culture. Why you are performing? Through my performance, I want to promote the audience knowledge, promote the audience rasikat tanmai. For that purpose I am performing, so that you are not supposed to, these 11 emotions on stage. Nimbiri, Kodumai. Don't be a cruel action on stage. Kodumai means cruel. Nimbiri means jealous. Then self-boasting, don't do it. And don't use the filthy words on stage. According to Tamil tradition, you are not supposed to use any filthy language on stage. It is prohibited. That is the culture. Why? He says, Ulluvadan metre uyarndadu. Uyarndadan metre ullum kalai. Whenever I want to tell something to the audience, I want to say only the superior things. Uyarndadan metre ullum kalai. நான் உயர்ந்ததை சொல்றதுக்கு தான் நான் கிராமர் எழுதுறேன். சாதாரண ஒரு அப்சலீட்ஸையோ ஃபில்த்தியையோ நான் சொல்றதுக்கு it is not my duty. It is not supposed to be done by any other. That's why in Sangam age, you cannot find not even a single filthy word or single filthy incidents. Just go and refer any Sangam age, any literature in Sangam age. Because their aim was to improve the society through the media. Because dance is a media. Through that media, they want to improve the society. They want to see the better future for the people. For that purpose, Tolgapiyam utilized his grammar. Concerned to Natyasastra, it talks about the performance, it talks about the aesthetics of performance. But Tolgapiyam is talking the aesthetics of the society. how aesthetically you have to develop, how aesthetically you have to put your ideas forward to see the better future. So according to that, I can say the percolation started from Tolkappiyam, then it moves to other region and other languages to develop their performance, arts and its grammar. Thank you, one and all.
താങ്ക് യു സർ. ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ കോൺവെർസേഷൻ. എപ്പോഴും പറയുന്ന പോലെ ഒന്നിൽ നിന്ന് തുടങ്ങി, അത് ഏതിൽ നിന്ന് തുടങ്ങി എന്നുള്ളതിനേക്കാളും കൂടുതൽ ഇതൊരു ഒഴുക്കാണ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. സോ താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് ഫോർ ദിസ് വണ്ടർഫുൾ കോൺവെർസേഷൻ. ആൻഡ് ടു ഓണർ Raghuraman sir, I invite Shri Vinod Gopalakrishnan onto stage. Thank you. Saranga.
Yes.